There is this guy I know quite well, let us call him Marcus. He wakes up at precisely 50:30 every single morning, immediately reading the pre-market news, analyzing futures, and checking the closing data of the Asian markets before moving on to the European session and the economic calendar. By the time the New York Stock Exchange actually opens, he is already 3 hours deep into his grueling trading day. He has a setup with 4 high-definition monitors, real-time scanners constantly running, level 2 data feeds, market internals, and complex volume profiles. He is watching 12 different stocks simultaneously, looking for specific setups and waiting for that perfect confluence of technical signals. By noon, Marcus has already taken 7 trades. He has reviewed perhaps 30 potential setups, passed on the majority, and executed what he believed were the best ones. He is utterly exhausted. His back hurts from sitting so long, and his eyes are dry from staring at glowing screens. Despite all this effort, he has made only 3:40 for the day. Then there is Sarah. She opens her laptop casually at 100 a.m. and checks 3 specific stocks she has been tracking all week. She sees nothing that meets her strict criteria, so she simply closes her laptop and goes for a long run. She comes back at 20:00 p.m., checks the charts again, and takes exactly 1 trade. She exits 20 minutes later and closes her platform. She is finished for the day. Sarah made double a 424. This happens almost every single day. Marcus works significantly harder, analyzes more data, and stays more informed about global events. Sarah barely breaks a sweat. Over the course of a year, Sarah makes about 4 times what Marcus makes. When Marcus finally found out, he was absolutely pissed. He thought Sarah was just lucky. He thought she must have more capital, better tools, or some form of insider information. But the truth is simpler and way more uncomfortable than that. Sarah just does less. Let me tell you what nobody wants to hear about making real money in trading. The path to millions isn't through doing more. It is through doing less better. I know that sounds like some Instagram guru nonsense, but stick with me because this is where it gets real. Most traders operate under the assumption that more activity equals more opportunity, more screen time, more analysis, more trades, more charts, and more indicators. They think the millionaire traders have some insane work ethic, grinding 16 hours a day, catching every move, and never missing a setup. But that's not how it works. That is actually the opposite of how it works. Every time you take a trade, you aren't just risking capital, you are spending mental energy. You are activating your stress response and depleting your decision-making reserves. There is a concept in psychology called decision fatigue. Every choice you make throughout the day slightly weakens your ability to make the next choice. It is why Steve Jobs wore the same outfit every day and why Obama didn't want to make decisions about food. Traders ignore this completely. They think they can make high-quality decisions under pressure all day long, trade after trade, and maintain the same level of clarity. You can't. Marcus takes 7 trades a day. Those are 7 moments where he has to control his fear, manage his greed, and override his instinct to exit early or hold too long. By trade number 5, his decision-making quality has dropped significantly. Sarah takes 1 trade, maybe 2 on a good day. She waits for the absolute best setup, the one that screams at her. Because she only takes 1 or 2 trades, she is sharp for both of them. Her mental energy is fresh, and her nervous system isn't flooded with cortisol. She does less and she makes more because the trades she does take are executed with complete clarity. Volume doesn't equal edge. Most retail traders think they need to be active to capture opportunity, but participation isn't the same as profit. In fact, for most traders, participation is expensive. Every trade has a cost, spreads, commissions, and slippage, but the bigger cost is psychological. Every trade you take that isn't your absolute best setup is teaching your brain that mediocre is acceptable. You are training yourself to take B-grade setups and to rationalize entries that don't really meet your criteria. Millionaire traders protect their standards viciously. They would rather make $0 today than take a trade that doesn't meet their exact criteria. I know a trader who made $3 million last year, and he took only about 180 trades. That's less than 1 trade per trading day. He sat there, watched, and waited. When his setup appeared, he took it with size and exited. Compare that to someone taking 400 trades a year who is just breaking even. The difference is patience and the ability to tolerate boredom. This discipline extends far beyond the closing bell. When you master the art of doing less, you begin to see the market not as a battlefield where you must fight for every dollar, but as a sea of noise where you occasionally find a signal. The expanded truth that many fail to grasp is that the market is designed to provoke you into action. It is a psychological engine built to extract money from the impatient and hand it to the patient. If you are constantly looking for a reason to be in, you are already losing. The most successful traders I have ever met spend 90% of their time waiting. They treat their trading capital like a high-stakes sniper would treat their last 3 bullets. They don't fire at every shadow in the woods. They wait for the target to be perfectly still, in clear sight, with the wind at their back. The cognitive load of over-analysis is a silent killer. When you have 20 indicators on your screen, you aren't gaining more information, you are gaining more confusion. You are creating a paradox of choice, where you can justify almost any action because some indicator, somewhere, is giving you a green light. This leads to a fragmented trading identity. One day you are a trend follower, the next you are a mean reversion trader, all because you are trying to catch every movement of the ticker. Sarah's secret isn't just that she does less, it's that she has a higher threshold for participation. She has decided that her time and her mental peace are worth more than a maybe trade. This shift in perspective transforms trading from a high-stress job into a high-leverage skill. Think about the long-term biological impact of Marcus's style versus Sarah's. Marcus is in a constant state of fight or flight. His adrenal glands are taxed, his sleep quality is likely suffering, and his relationships probably feel the strain of his daily exhaustion. He is trading his life for a meager 340. Sarah, on the other hand, is cultivating a lifestyle of abundance. Because she isn't chained to the screen, she has time to think, to learn, and to remain calm. This calmness is her greatest competitive advantage. When the market eventually gets volatile and everyone else is panicking, Sarah is the one with the clear head to see the opportunity that everyone else is too blind to notice. The reality of compounding is also on Sarah's side. Because she focuses on high probability AFA setups, her win rate is naturally higher. A higher win rate allows her to trade with larger position sizes without the same psychological trauma that Marcus would feel. If Marcus tried to trade Sarah's size, he would have a heart attack because he loses so frequently on his filler trades. Sarah can scale her wealth because her system is scalable. Marcus can't scale because his system relies on a level of effort and emotional management that doesn't humanly scale. To move from the Marcus level to the Sarah level, you have to be willing to sit on your hands. You have to be willing to watch a good move happen without you and feel absolutely nothing. You have to realize that the goal isn't to be right about the market. The goal is to be paid by the market. If you want to join the top 1% of traders, you must stop acting like a frantic employee and start acting like a predatory investor. An employee thinks they must work 8 hours to get paid for 8 hours. An investor knows they can work for 10 minutes and get paid for a year's worth of effort if they have the courage to wait for the right moment. This is the hardest lesson to learn because it goes against everything we are taught in school and in the corporate world. We are taught that hard work is the solution to every problem. In trading, hard work is often the problem. The work in trading happens outside of market hours. It's the backtesting, the journal review, and the emotional conditioning. Once the market is open, your only job is to be a gatekeeper. You are the bouncer at an exclusive club, and your job is to say no to every mediocre trade trying to get in. Only the elite setups get past the velvet rope. If you can master this, your entire life changes. You no longer feel the anxiety of the morning bell. You no longer feel the depression of a red day caused by a trade you shouldn't have taken in the first place. You start to value your flat time, the time you spend out of the market, as much as your active time. You realize that being flat is a conscious, professional position. It is the position of the predator waiting in the tall grass. The gazelle can run all day, but the lion only runs when it's time to eat. Stop being the gazelle, running from every shadow and burning all your energy just to survive. Become the lion. Wait, watch, do less. And when the time is right, do it with everything you have. This is the only way to reach the millions while keeping your sanity intact.